What's up, guys? It's Ricky, and on this particular episode, I want to talk about a video that came out some time ago, about 3 months back, that Gogo Skhotheni made when it was during the period when there was the whole thing of Pastor Mukhuba's daughter. Y'all remember when Pastor Mukhuba's daughter came out and she had issues that she was trying to, hey, can y'all leave me alone? I want to have my own life. And so the reason why I never spoke about this video that Skhotheni made, okay, so this was a response. She said that people were tagging her to comment around the thing that was happening around Pastor Mukhuba and the daughter. And so she came out, she made a video. The reason why I did not speak about it at that time was because the situation was pretty much clear. The daughter just wanted, leave me alone, right? And so I did not want to give it fuel so that we keep talking. It's another thing. And so I left it so that it rests, and then I'll come back to this point separate at a different time. So it's been about 3 months now. So I want to go back there for a certain reason. There's something in that video that I think it highlights why Christianity has doctrine. It highlights why Christian doctrine tells us how to navigate everyday life. Okay? How our perception of things should be consistent biblically. Okay? And I think this video that Skhotheni made here gives that example. And I hope other people will also see that consistency is very important and why it's highlighted so much in the Bible. It's the Christianity Show with the daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time of year to be sure, check out some other videos that are down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out over there. And so that whole situation happened. So Skhotheni said she was being tagged, and she responded with this video here. So I'm going to play the video. I want you to listen to it, but I want to use something else as a reference to this whole thing. All right.
Hi guys, this is Gogo Skhotheni, the DJ, the Sangoma, the Yonke Into, you know. I get a lot of mentions on Pastor Mukhuba's issue, Mtanake and all that. Guys, cannot be mentioned because I don't think it's a laughing matter. Like, everyone has their own family issues. Whatever that happened, whatever video I made, it was due to whatever that happened between me and her. But I don't think I should be laughing at this matter. So when it comes to families, like if my family's problems would be on the public platform, I think this is what people would say, you know. There's so much people can say, but I don't think you guys must honestly mention me. For me, this is not a laughing matter. Thank you.
Now, that video was made by Sharon from Sip and Relax. Right. So, the consistency part. Consistency. Now, Gogo Skhotheni had made a video because there was an issue between her and the mother. Now, why do I say consistency? Because in that video, which is this video here, when she had an issue with Pastor Mukhuba, what did she say? Play.
And abafundi bakhe started complaining. He said, who are you to judge us? Let me give you a free advice. There are so many women who are married and mentally they are being abused by their husbands. They are not happy. Mentally they are being abused by their belief in their religion, which is Christianity, and their...
I don't know what she means. Christianity is oppressing people. What is she talking about? Which Christianity? Are you sure it's Christianity? No, it can't be.
Not happy. Concentrate more into making sure Oguti, your congregation is happy, and mentally and spiritually they are fit. Also, concentrate endodeni yakho. Do I need to say more? Sit down with your husband and make sure you understand and stop overpowering him. Umekhuluma, because he's still the man of the house.
Okay, so she brought that, right? She brought that. She said, Mukhuba must listen to her husband and the whole nine whiches. Now, why do I say consistency? Why am I mentioning subject matters of consistency in this story? It's because, you see, when a story then, because that was about this one here of her and Pastor Mukhuba was 8 months ago, right? It's a while ago. And then this current one, we're thinking was about 3 months ago. So few months, and then there was issues at the household, right? But then when there is now an issue that brings up what she might have mentioned, she then says, let's all back off. If family things are public, it will what. Now, the reason why I mention consistency is because you will see this even with pastors. When, let's say, maybe a pastor comes out and his son or his daughter comes out as part of the flag, right? Part of the people of the flag. What tends to happen is that pastor will start being compromised in that subject. They will not be consistent in their teaching concerning that subject, because now they have someone who is in their family who is in that area. Now, over the recent couple of months, ever since that 8 months, there's been issues that have been kind of been spoken about by channels on YouTube and stuff like that concerning Skhotheni and her household over there. Now, is that also what then made her to kind of fold? Because she personally at that point had family issues herself, and so she's like, you know what, I'm going through my own thing at this time, and so it's a family thing. But then when things were not shaky in her family situation, she was more than willing to tell us things that we had no business knowing anything about, bringing up the husband and talking about people being abused. By the way, the daughter didn't mention that there was things, and y'all remember that, okay? The daughter mentioned things, and she said there was this, there was this, there was that, right? And so the daughter had mentioned some of these things, and then now she, in her video, months before, had mentioned that there might be people what and what and what. But now, because she might have a situation in that particular space, she's like, maybe we should not talk about. You see, consistency is that's why we have doctrine. Doctrine shows us why consistency is important, because then we are not choosing situations when it suits us, and we are not picking situations only when it suits us. We are very consistent about our presentation concerning the subject, even if it affects us personally. As a matter of fact, the more it affects us personally, we must be even more convinced about rightly addressing the subject, right? Not being demeaning, of course, to those that we might have issues, that we might be going through difficulty within that space, irrespectfully so, because some people, they tend to use it wrongly, right? You'll have a pastor having an issue with his wife, and then when he speaks about his wife, he speaks about it in a very demeaning manner. We're not talking about that. We're talking about rightly speaking from a biblical perspective about the subject. So we have consistency. Doctrine gives us consistency on how to deliver the message and what is. But then here, what you see here is that when it hits personally, it's like now we sway. And I thought that was quite an interesting point out to say this is why we have doctrine. We have doctrine so that the flip-floppering does not, we don't flip-flop, because us personally, we are affected, right? Some people, when it comes to financial struggles, they will tell others to push off. But then if it is them who is facing financial struggles, you must be more empathetic towards them. But then when it was someone else, they had this harsh personality towards the whole thing. But now, because it's them who's going through it, they want everybody to understand. They want everybody to be more accommodative and stuff like that. They are very inconsistent about how they deal with that particular thing, because now it touches them personally. They are not consistent in that subject, and you can see it in this particular. I thought that was quite an interesting example. Consistency, that's what doctrine gives us. Doctrine gives us how to navigate all these subjects consistently. And that's a very important pointer for us to have consistently before us, because then we are not flip-floppering when things favor us. We're consistent. Because now, when your son decided to be part of the flag people, now you want us to be understanding of the flag people. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We have to be very consistent in our presentation doctrinally, because the Bible upholds it. The Bible wants us to uphold that viewpoint. We should not be shaking about that because now we are challenged by one or the other thing. We have to be very consistent. So when she comes and she says, hey, you have issues over there, you have issues over there. Now when the issues now pop up, it's like, we are sympathetic. Well, consistency dwindles. It wanes off. This is why we have doctrine. And doctrine, with this here, you can actually see why we correct. Why we have a biblical right to correct. Because we are not functioning based on our feelings. We are not functioning on the basis of another person feels. We are functioning on the basis that consistency is presented from a doctrinal position. And I thought that was quite an interesting example of it. I just wanted to kind of wait it off and then think it. Now today, I actually did remember it because there's been just videos about her flying all over the place. I think she went to Turkey, what, or something like that. And so this entire thing that I've been seeing online, it reminded me of these videos to come back and highlight this. Consistency is because, consistency in doctrine is because that's what the Bible tells us. And it's important we become biblically consistent, because the Bible is also correcting us as well. You can't now shake around because it doesn't favor us. This is very important point, and I think this is something that a lot of people tend to miss, especially when things don't favor them. If you remember the video that I made about the Christ Embassy church burning and whatnot, that's a thing that the very same thing I highlighted, is that if it is them who's suffering, I don't know what we will rebuild. But if it's you, you must sow seed, you must do what. They always have all these things that hinder you getting restoration. But then when it's them, they are very easy. We have to be very consistent in how we deal the cards to ourselves and how others receive those same cards. That's what doctrine is there for.